talk about milk duds.
So I'm like,
do you want one?
Alright, you're live. You already got 8 people on.
Like I said, people are already watching. Slash have this queued up on like TVs and restaurants and stuff. So there's other people like besides the TVs that are already streaming, like watching these TVs. So
Well, I'll wait.
they're watching this camera.
Yep.
They can see anything that's outgoing and hear anything the mics pick up. Probably like don't say any weird things you don't want people to know about it. Yeah, probably not. I mean, you could if that's what
We don't.
you want him to be known for.
I don't want to.
Who can hear?
Audience, we're already streaming.
Are we on a test?
You're testing?
All right, I think
The stream is live.
we sound great. This is Tony Mancuso here at Alumni Field in Wilmington, Ohio, on the campus of Wilmington High School. What a beautiful night for football. I can't believe we made it to a football season, and we're broadcasting tonight the game between the East Clinton Astros and the Wilmington Hurricane here at beautiful Wilmington High School. Like I said, I'm Tony Mancuso. Let me introduce our color man and co-host, Jeff Merklin, former state champion high school football player, quarterback for the West Jefferson 1976 state champs. His junior year, college player at Muskingum, former coach, brilliant football mind. Jeff, welcome to high school football.
Well, thanks, Tony. This is a real honor and pleasure. I appreciate you asking me to come down. I, like you, did not think that there was going to be a high school season at all. I'm very glad that I was wrong.
Right. Do you believe it that we're actually here watching live high school football? I mean, for months we were thinking there wasn't going to be anything, and here we are, the black and orange of Wilmington against the scarlet and gray looking East Clinton team, and they're all out there and they're running through drills, and we see cheerleaders. I heard a band kind of practicing coming in. Now, the fans, not many, huh?
Very few.
What's the rule? Supposedly there's some kind of restriction, right, about who can watch?
Well, I think it's left to each school to determine how best to implement a base of rules. For instance, I've talked to a couple athletic directors this week, and one elected to have 4 tickets to each player, and but the tickets were assigned seats. And he was having a heck of a time this week because many people were complaining about their seat assignments.
Yeah, of course, naturally.
And then you have also, I'm good friends with the athletic director at DeGraff Riverside up the road a little bit, and he told me today that what he did was gave the tickets to the player, and he could pick whatever it was, whoever he wanted to come in. But in that case, they were allowed to sit together in clumps of 4. So they did not have assigned seating. So I think it's up to the athletic director and the school as to how they run it.
Now, you don't have to, you can be a non-parent and still be here. How's that work?
I think most schools have decided they weren't going to make any rules because it would be impossible to enforce. So most schools, one way or another, regardless of how the school elects to handle the tickets, they let the player decide, and his family presumably, who's going to get to go that particular night.
So everybody gets 4 seats basically, but 4 entry passes to get in with assigned seats. Because I'm looking around, looking at the crowd, we don't have much of a road crowd, maybe none at all really, but the home stands are sort of interestingly packed. It looks like a normal football crowd to some extent. A little 15 minutes before game time. It doesn't look like it's totally devoid of people by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, as I said before, each school will do it different. The one high school was doing assigned seats. Others that I've heard about are not. They're just doing circus seating, but either they make people socially distance themselves or they are allowed to have families clumped together. As far as surprise whether the season would happen, I have to say I absolutely am pleasantly shocked that the season did happen.
Now, we're starting everywhere tonight, right, in Ohio?
Of all schools that are playing, and there are still a few that are not playing at all. I saw this week that the Columbus City League, which had shut everything down, all sports, now is considering letting their kids come back and play, which I don't know how they're going to do that this late date. But, again, I think each school is going to handle it the way they want, and it just depends on how things go from there.
So again, I'm Tony Mancuso here with Jeff Merklin, former state champion high school football quarterback and college player and coach in his own right here on campusnation.com. We're available on that website and also through the YouTube channel. Sister station with 106.9 WZAA out of Jeffersonville. Zach Bayless on the camera. He told me his name was Burrow. I knew that was a lie. But he's close enough. He kind of looks like him a little bit, like if you didn't have your glasses on. Yeah, he does a little bit. But what's he got, Florida Gators? Yeah. So how can he like Joe Burrow with a Florida Gators hat? So, all right. But, Jeff, what do you know about these teams? East Clinton Astros, the Wilmington Hurricane. Talk to me.
Well, let's take the visitor East Clinton first. They were 4-6 last year. And over the past 3 years, they are 7-23. They endured a winless season in 2018. In my following of high school football over the years, East Clinton has been a program that's been down more than up. But since 2004, they have had 4 teams that have made the playoffs. They lost in the playoffs in the first round 3 times, but in 2004 they went 9-1 in the regular season and won 2 games before losing in the regional finals in the playoffs. Wilmington, over the last Wilmington coming in is 3-7. Over the last 3 years, they are 14-16. And I've kind of enjoyed watching Wilmington play over the years, or at least following them on the various high school websites. And the reason for that is this is where Gary Williams went to school back in my day.
Sure.
And he was a tremendous receiver for
Great
the Bucks.
receiver, yep, he sure was.
And so I've always been interested in this area of the state's football. They've been, since 2004, they've been in the playoffs 3 times, but they've never advanced past the first round. East Clinton's last playoff appearance was 2011, and Wilmington's was 2015. So these are schools that, from what I know about them, I know each of the teams had played a lot of young players last year, and each team has a lot of returning lettermen that are coming back. My own take on this would be that Wilmington, of course, is a Division III school in the state of Ohio, and they have a little bit more to choose from, as East Clinton's a Division V school. So my guess for tonight would be I would look for to Wilmington at this point to come out on top, if I had to guess.
East Clinton coached by Steve Olds, assisted by Nick Anderson, Brian Floyd, Dan Day, Adam Boysel, according to the rosters that we were provided. Wilmington Hurricane coached by Scott Killen, assisted by a whole big staff. He's got a lot of folks on his staff. Josh Wolf does the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. Gary Massey, special teams coordinator, running back coach Jeremy Andrews, offensive line. Ryan Stuckey, defensive line. J.D. McIntosh, defensive line. Joe Giganet, I know we're going to get some of these names pronounced wrong, but he helps with the offensive line. Jody Drake with DBs, wide receivers, as does Justin Evans. So a big staff for Wilmington. Do you think, Jeff, at this point in the season, given the limitations that everybody's been under, that it's going to be hard to get off the ground with coordinating your staff and your roles that you have during games and who's calling what and who's doing what?
Well, I think from my perspective, it's probably going to be your typical first game. No greater or no less a problem than normal. The schools that I'm aware of have all started at the regular date that was set by the OHSAA to start.
Which was when? When was that?
I think it was, I believe it was August 1st, maybe.
So everybody started at the same day.
Well, I don't know, because each county, of course, has their own count for the COVID. And I would guess that a lot of counties, the kids did not start on the appointed time. But I don't know that. All I know is the several ones that I checked with this week all started on the normal time.
Have these teams been able to practice like you normally traditionally would coming into a season?
The ones I'm aware of have. So.
Okay, so given the COVID environment that we're in, you think as a former coach and player yourself, you're still able to run a practice and prep like you would any other year?
Practice and prep. You know, I forgot something.
Yeah.
We probably will have a little bit of more struggle tonight because the teams weren't allowed to scrimmage up until maybe a week, 10 days ago. I don't know how many teams got in one scrimmage. The coaches that I know were not able to get in a scrimmage. So by this point, for opening night, teams would have had two scrimmages, and the second one would be very similar to game conditions.
Well, looking out over the field, you do see the band coming on for Wilmington. You don't see any, well, you do. You have the baton people in the front with masks. Of course, the people blowing the brass instruments don't have masks. You're looking at the officials all with masks, and of course, no players with masks. And looking around the fans, it seems like everybody or most people are masked up. Here's the band coming on, which is, it's cool. Finally, we're getting some sports, which there's nothing like live sports, and especially in Ohio, the football, high school football rules on Friday nights. Matter of fact, they're not even allowed to play anything else, right? You have to leave it alone to the high schools in this state. Is there any college, small college, that are even allowed to compete with a high school game on a
yes.
Friday? They are?
A lot of colleges, at least a substantial few, and I don't know if that's the case this year, but substantial few will open on a Thursday or a Friday night. The smaller colleges, if they do that, will make sure that the high school's not playing typically as a courtesy.
Yeah, right.
Like Wilmington College here, I don't think there's no way that their athletic director would schedule a game for tonight, but it's been done.
So we're listening to the Wilmington Hurricane Band. I give these kids credit. They're out there doing it. They don't show any. If you looked at it, you wouldn't think anything unusual, would you? You're just seeing the kids, and they're all blowing their horns and cheering and banging on the drums. And here they are ready for high school football like we all should be, and I'm glad we're doing it, that's for sure.
Well, and looks like they're going to
Yeah,
do
we're
the
going to do the
anthem now.
national anthem, so, and a moment of silence.
Mr. Murphy served and cared deeply for our school. He made a positive impact on many lives through his work, his family, his community, and his service on the Wilmington Board of Education for 18 years. In honor of Mr. Murphy's legacy, we ask that you join us in recognizing a moment of silence. Thank you. Now please remain standing and remove your hats as we honor America with those who support our freedom at home and abroad by joining the American Legion Post 49 and the Wilmington High School Marching Band in the performance of our national anthem.
Beautiful job by the kids. The Wilmington Hurricane Band. Now they're marching out. Good time to talk about one of our sponsors for tonight, Sam's Meats. Football fans, stop by Sam's Matt's. It says Matt's, but I know it's got to be Meats, right?
I think so.
By Sam's Meats, located here in Wilmington at 1209 West Locust Street to support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, beef, along with deli, cheese, and lunch meats. Their meals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping you to save both time and money. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar meals and their made-to-order grill menu. Sam's Meats also offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts, open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Go check out Sam's Meats. That sounded good. I was ready to have some Sam's Meats now.
Yeah, that does sound good.
Yeah,
And I
have
actually
to bring it up.
I remember Sam's Meats for, I think it's been here quite a while. Used to play quite a bit of softball in Jeffersonville, and that's, Wilmington's right next door.
Well, thanks to that locally owned business for sponsoring tonight's broadcast on campusnation.net and available on the YouTube channel of campusnation.net. Sister station 106.9 WZAA out of Jeffersonville. Zach Bayless on the camera, Sidney Phillips, the producer. I'm Tony Mancuso with Jeff Merklin. We're counting it down to kickoff, about 3 minutes to go before we get started. I don't see the Wilmington team has been lockered up. Are there any specific rules on that, Jeff? That here they coming out of the to our right.
They can't take the field before a certain time, but after that, it's up to the coach. However, if they are late for any reason, they're assessed a penalty for delay of game.
But see, this is what it looks like football. Everybody huddled up, doing high fives, all in a group, running out together. I like it. I do like it.
Well, high school football, although there are a few that it means a whole lot more than just playing the games on Friday night. 98%, maybe higher, of the high school players. Football is for the players and the band and
right.
the parents, and those folks are here. So
yeah, they are. Everybody giving a standing ovation to the Wilmington Hurricane coming. They're on our near sideline. East Clinton on the far sideline. Are road teams allowed to bring fans, Jeff, or no? Is that
same limitations? I'm not sure if the rules are different, but they're allowed to have folks here.
So as a public, if you're sitting in Wilmington and you want to come drive over and watch the game, they won't let you in,
Nope.
huh?
Nope.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Hopefully that'll change before we get to the end of the season. We'll have to talk about the new format. What is it, 6 regular season games? And
Right,
then-
6 regular season games, and then for the 7th week, everybody is in the playoffs if they want to be in the playoffs. There will be regional meetings like there are for sectional and district basketball, where they seed the teams and then they'll play each other. But I don't think anywhere close to all the schools playing in football in Ohio will opt into the playoffs.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you play a 7th game if you had the chance? Even if you're 0-6, why not?
Well,
No?
that doesn't end it. For the teams that elect to opt out of the playoffs, their schools are free to schedule anybody they want. And so if you're a 1-5, 0-6 team, you still have 4 weeks you can play. And
All 4 weeks you can play?
You can schedule 4 more games. And so at that point, I actually kind of like it, because the teams that are not doing as well, they're not going to have to play a powerhouse. I mean, this county, Clinton Massey is the team that has been good for 20, 25 years. If you are a team in Clinton Massey's division, but you're 0-6, why would you opt in to get the last seed and play Clinton Massey the 7th week?
Right, and then you're out if you lose that game.
Right,
You're
and then
done.
you can still, once you lose the playoffs, if you want, you can schedule up to 10 games for the 10 weeks that the season will run. And they made it that way so that they could finish quicker and also have a couple weeks worked in case the COVID hits again.
Well, here we go. East Clinton lining up to kick off. Looks like Philip Davis, a junior, is the East Clinton's kicker. He's approaching the ball at the 40, and off we go. Bobbled kickoff, picked up by number 55 of
Brett Brooks, Tony.
bowled his way to about the 43.
And Brett is one of the top linemen for the Hurricane this year.
Yeah, I don't know that Brett is like the guy you want running back kicks necessarily, but the ball kind of trickled to him, and he picked it up. And big kid, no doubt.
Well, he rumbled for about
Yeah,
10.
why
Did a
not?
nice job.
Looks like it's 1st and 10 from about the 44 of East Clinton. Wilmington is going from our left to right in the black, all black with orange numbers, black helmets with the orange logo. East Clinton in the white with red numbers, scarlet pants. They look like the 1968 Ohio State Rose Bowl team, don't they, with the way they look?
That's a good call.
Yeah, they do. That's what they look like. All right, here we go. 1st and 10.
Wilmington's at their own 44, by the way, Tony.
Yeah, there we go. 44 of the Wilmington side. Sorry about that. That's why we got you here, Jeff, to correct all the faux pas and misstatements. Wilmington in a shotgun, empty backfield.
Wilmington's quarterback, senior Peyton Hibbard, and he's known to be a pretty good quarterback. Not real big.
Empty backfield, so
I look forward to seeing him throw tonight.
steps back, no pressure. Over the middle, incomplete. Intended for number 9, Kendall France. Ball's a little bit short. Be 2nd and 10. Interesting, empty backfield. No huddle. Everybody's playing like this now, huh, Jeff? Well, here now they are huddling up. Take that back.
Well, you make a great point. I'm just stunned and amazed how high school coaches, who I think in Ohio are the best in the country, can get these sophisticated offenses in a short period of time.
Well, they did huddle this. They didn't huddle the first play, but they did on 2nd down, 2nd and 10. Quick pass to the left is complete to number 81, breaking a tackle. He's still on his feet about midfield, coming back to the right side. He's got some room. Knocked down at the East Clinton 30 after a 25-yard gain.
That's Carter Huffman, one of the top Wilmington players this year. He has, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he does have good numbers his first 2 years here at Wilmington.
1st and 10 from the East Clinton 30. Just got started. No score yet between the Hurricane and the Astros. Handoff into the line.
That would be Thad Stuckey, who is one of Wilmington's top sophomores. Good to see him in the backfield.
You know, I don't notice a lot of seniors on either team. That seems unusual to me. A lot of underclassmen.
With public schools like this, you kind of got to go with what you get, and that may tend to go up and down. Tony, before the next play, I want to tell you one of the COVID issues.
Yeah, tell us, because it looks a little bit awkward, doesn't it? Here's a pitch to the left. Number 9, Kendall France, breaking tackles, cuts back to the right. Tackled at about the East Clinton 27. Looks to be about a yard short of a 1st down.
What is happening is the referees are marking where the ball is with an orange marker, and the center takes the ball back to the huddle with him and carries it up to the line before he snaps it.
Okay, humor me a minute. What would be the point of that? Why not just leave the ball in the field?
To keep as few hands between schools off of it as possible.
All right.
But
3rd and 3 from the East Clinton 23-yard line. We have movement on the line. Looks like East Clinton jumped, Jeff, huh?
East Clinton was coming with an all-out blitz, and very good cadence by the quarterback to get them to draw off.
Yeah, easy 1st down when you don't have to run a play. You just basically get it by penalty.
Yeah, especially the first week like we talked about.
So Wilmington marching down. 9:54 to go in the 1st quarter as we just got started. Wilmington trying to get the first score of the year. Ball's on the 18-yard line, 1st and 10. They are huddling. And look, they got traditional fullback, traditional I formation, right?
That's correct. Reminds me of the old Penn State offense. Beautiful run.
Yeah,
Touchdown.
there goes Kendall France barreling in for the opening touchdown of the season.
Kendall France, another very talented senior for the Hurricane.
So the Hurricane get off the board with a long, about a 56-yard drive for a touchdown. Mixed in a couple passes, couple runs, and Kendall France with the touchdown run, 18-yarder off to the left. Point
Tony, we're
after
told
try.
this kicker is a Division I prospect.
Well, he looks solid on that. Strong kick. Catch the number. What number? 19?
Yes, Parker Henry.
Yeah, Parker Henry. Now he's a junior, but we're told that he's a Division I kicker. Looks strong on that kick. Wilmington gets out 7-0, waiting to kick off. Time to talk about Tin Cap, another sponsor. Tin Cap is more than just your locally owned hard cider company. Tin Cap offers handcrafted hard ciders along with local craft beers, cocktails, and pizza. Tin Cap leads the area in entertainment, offering large TVs for big games like these. The largest outdoor patio with covered area and a large stage for live music. Join your friends at Tin Cap where they always serve up smiles by the glassful. See you for live music Saturdays, trivia Thursdays, we should go to that, and Tin Cap located at 59 West Sugar Tree Street in Wilmington, Ohio. Tin Cap. Here's the kickoff. Let's see this kid's leg. Hits it to about the 14-yard line where East Clinton returns the kick. Brought down about the 22. Looked like Glenn Peacock on the return. Or no, was it 34?
Brody Fisher, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, Blaze Johnson.
All right.
Sophomore. Oh, I was wrong. Brody Fisher, junior for East Clinton. For East Clinton's quarterback tonight will be Jared Smith. He started as a sophomore last year, put up some decent numbers, and I know that Coach Olds is very excited to have him at the helm this year.
Well, here comes East Clinton from their sidelines onto the field. There's the center, number 62, Denver Day, with the ball in his hand. Takes a little bit to get used to, doesn't it? I don't know that I understand that. If you put the ball down, how many people are going to touch it, right? Who's going to touch it on defense?
I've
never seen in a real game the defense touch the ball in a game without COVID restrictions. So what?
Fumbles, they're going to, if they recover it, they touch it anyway. I guess we'll just have to leave it to the health director.
There's a shotgun snap to the QB, Jared Smith. He's tackled in the backfield for a loss. That play was snuffed out almost instantly. Does East Clinton throw the ball around any?
I expect him to a little more this year. My understanding, without having seen the stats from last year, is that Jared maybe had through 10, 12, 14 times a game, and I don't know, 600, 700, 800 yards is what my scout told me.
Jared is a junior, 6'1", 165 listed. Shotgun snap.
It's the read option. He keeps it.
Barely got back to the line. Be 3rd and long, 3rd and 13. Both runs basically stuffed. Came up a little limping too, Jared. 3rd and 13, 8:20 to go. 7-0, Wilmington leading East Clinton. 8:15 to go in the first quarter. There's the center bringing it up to the line. How about that? Interesting. He better bring it up there every play or we're not going to be able to go, huh? What if he doesn't bring it up? Then what do we do?
I think the coach will throw it in from the sideline.
Shotgun snap. Throws toward the sidelines. Great throw, great catch. Number 3, Devin Guthrie on the receiving end of the pass.
No, I think that's Branson Smith. He's no, it is Devin Guthrie.
Devin
They just
Guthrie.
announced. Apparently,
Yeah.
they've got 2 threes on our
Yeah,
roster.
they do.
Sorry about that.
Nice looking throw. Left sideline. 3rd and 13 converted. How about that?
I'm very impressed with Jared's ability to throw on the run to his left. That's one of the principal skills that any coach who teaches quarterbacks very much tries to teach quarterbacks as young as possible, is how to throw off the run.
Well, they've crossed midfield. They're on the Wilmington side at the 49-yard line, 1st and 10. This is their first drive of the game. 3 wides out left, 1 to the right, or to the right, 1 to the left. Shotgun snap, roll out, throws the ball up in the air. Really no one there, but there's a flag down.
I think you've got a late hit,
I
Tony.
bet we're going to get it. 59 of Wilmington is Derek Perdue, a sophomore. Late hit, I'm sure, is a call, right?
That's what it looked like. That's where the flag came.
The official is,
I think it's a 5-yard inadvertent face mask on East Clinton.
yeah, they didn't call roughing.
The only thing I can see, Tony, and I don't know that I've ever seen that before, was he called it on the quarterback on his follow-through, because that's where the flag was thrown. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Well, I think they declined the penalty, too.
Right.
They didn't take it. So it was an incomplete pass. Interesting little bit of confusion. It did look like a late hit, but they called it, the quarterback, Jared Smith's hand ended up in the defender's face mask, and the penalty was actually on the QB. The ball was poorly thrown and didn't have a chance of a completion, so it's declined, and East Clinton starts over, 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap. Single back. There's another keeper. Only about a couple yard gain, if that.
Quarterback draw. Right now, Wilmington is winning the battle up front on both sides of the ball.
So we got 3rd and 9, a little short of a 2-yard gain. 3rd and a long 9, about the 48-yard line. Smith looking at his wristband, and out come the Astros to the line. Going always 3 wides to the right, 1 left, single back, and every play's been in the shotgun so far. Straight drop back and throw, and nobody there. Bring up 4th down.
Derek Smith's pass falls incomplete, bringing up 4th down and 9.
I don't see a punter out there yet, Jeff.
Well, this early in the game, I would think the play is to punt.
You'd think, but
We shall see.
here comes somebody trotting in, but I don't know if they're lined up for a punt.
I see that they've retrieved the incomplete pass, the East Clinton player. I don't think
Is that some kind of rule that only the... Yeah, no, look at... That's interesting. There goes the East Clinton player, number 75, Chris Norman, going and retrieving the loose ball.
had to run about 50 yards to get it.
So
Maybe the referees can't touch the ball at all.
Okay, so it's 4th down, and the kicker, or the QB, Jared Smith, is kind of in punt formation, so I think we're expecting a punt. But East Clinton calls a timeout. Good time to talk about Sam's Meats. Football fans, stop by Sam's Meats, located here in Wilmington at 1209 West Locust Street, to support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, beef, along with deli cheese and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping to save you both time and money. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar meals and their made-to-order grill menu. Sam's Meats also offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Go check out Sam's Meats. Now, we're all confused because it looks like the punter could be quarterback Jared Smith. Now, interesting, he would have an option, right, Jeff, to run a play or kick.
I think he's probably going to kick.
It
from
looks
where he
like
is.
it. There's somebody back deep for Wilmington, and he is kicking. Sideline punt, fair catch called at about the 19. Clean fair catch by 81, Carter Huffman.
Number 11, Jared Smith's punt. Fair cut by number 81, Carter Huffman.
So Wilmington gets the ball for the second time. Looks like about the
Wilmington ball, first and 10 on the
19-yard line, first and 10.
Tony, I thought I was prepared for this game, but I obviously did not read as many of the updated rules as I should have.
Well, I mean, can you pass COVID through a leather football, pigskin? I don't know. It must be because it's a rule. Handoff 26 for Wilmington.
Thad Stuckey, the sophomore.
Up the middle, they mark him just short of a first down. Yep, about an 8-yard run. Second and 2 from the 27. Wilmington going to from our left to right. The center brings the ball up to the 27, and here we go. They're under center, little different style than East Clinton, huh?
Right, and they're not doing anything fancy on the offensive line. They're just running right at them and power blocking up front.
Well, 26 for Wilmington. Thad Stuckey ran for a first down, but there's all kinds of yellow laundry on the field. I seem like from our vantage point, some sort of face mask, but yep, tacked on to the run, huh?
Absolutely.
So first down run by Stuckey and +5 on the face mask.
ball's on the 35-yard line. It's first and 10,
Wilmington
Wilmington.
out at the 35. You're right, Jeff. The Wilmington is just kind of power running, tight formations, fullback leading. You don't see that too much. Look, a handoff to the fullback even. When is the last time we saw handoffs to the fullback? You don't see it ever in the college game anymore. Rarely in the NFL, rarely.
Maybe Pete Johnson may have been the last one we
Our
ran the
team,
football.
our team, the Bengals, doesn't even have a designated fullback. Nobody's on the roster with that designation.
Ohio State only uses the fullback to block and catch passes. That seems to be the job description now. If there
That's
is
right.
one.
You'll have a Doma Tapeko or Sam Hubbard type leading the run at the goal line.
Correct.
Second down for Wilmington. Here comes a pass. Straight drop back. Good-looking ball thrown by Peyton Hibbert. Complete on the left.
Hibbert's pass complete, number 84.
Tony, I believe, and I'm going to try to watch it closer this time, I believe that if the runner, or in this case the receiver who caught a pass, is charged with returning the ball to the center, nobody else touches it.
Right. I haven't seen an official touch a ball yet. They don't even mark they mark penalties with orange like markers, and then the ball is brought to where the marker is. Interesting stuff. Okay, East Clinton jumps again, Jeff. It looks like they're having trouble with the cadence. That's like the second or third time that East Clinton seems like they've jumped.
And that may be where the lack of a scrimmage comes in. High school players, just like everybody from third grade on up, are taught, watch the ball, watch the ball.
Right.
And
They want to go, and there's no play to go yet.
it's still very difficult.
You know, you're trying to get off ahead of the lineman and get to the QB or the runner, and oftentimes you jump. Here's a pitch to the right. 26, Thad Stuckey. Hit it about the line of scrimmage. Not much of a gain, maybe none at all.
More laundry.
Got a holding on the Wilmington junior Andrew Stewart, the offensive lineman. So they'll move him back. You're right. See, there's the orange marker, but no official putting the ball down. And there's the Wilmington center still holding the ball. It does take some getting used to when we've watched football for 50 years differently, and now you're seeing it this way.
And another thing is the referees are keeping their social distance from all the players whenever possible.
Yep, I'm noticing that too. There's a pass, a backwards pass behind the line. Hibbard to number 1, Isaiah Ringling.
I like Wilmington's offense. They're running a variation of what we've called for a long time the West Coast offense, where the short pass basically takes the place of the running play from 20, 30 years ago. Hibbard really throws a nice ball, nice and crisp. Sometimes the shorter ones are a lot more difficult to throw than the long ones.
Well, he picked up some of the yardage from the penalty. It's now 2nd and 16 on the 42. This time in a shotgun. So we're seeing both. Hand off to the motion man. There goes Isaiah Ringling to the left. Nice run. Dragged out of bounds. And here we go with another penalty on the far side. Jeff, is it hard? How do you teach tackling when you're in limited practice mode?
Well, and on top of it, on top of the limited hitting, and again, I think it's a focus or a function of scrimmages this year.
Yeah.
You just don't get a chance to
So, you know, that
see
might
it.
be that kid's first tackle of the year, even in a practice setting.
Perhaps. I know that the amount of hitting, of course, is severely limited, and I think they even scaled it back in terms of the amount of minutes per week that a high school player can
Actually,
hit.
we thought we had a face mask, but they actually called it on Wilmington. Wonder what we had over there. I missed the call.
I didn't see it.
The
huh?
first down is negated, and Wilmington's back on their own 42. So we're now back at 2nd and 15. Must have been some illegal block downfield, something over on the far sideline. But the first down run, which is a nice play, is negated, and here we are now 2nd and 15 from the 43-yard line. Shotgun snap.
Nice sack.
Yeah, it was. It's 58. Philip Davis. Philip was the kicker for East Clinton.
Tony,
I
other.
love that about high school football. You got the kickers making sacks. How
That's
about
right.
it? That's the
right.
greatest thing going.
One other thing I've noticed is a concession to COVID is you'll see the referees are positioned, at least one of them, maybe two, in different places of the field. You do not have the, typically the head referee is behind the center and quarterback about 10, 15 yards. Now you have two back there, and you don't have the referee behind the linebackers who looks for the holding calls.
Do you think that would lead to more penalties or less?
Well, it's certainly going to lead to less holding calls.
All right, 3rd and long, 3rd and 23. Let's see what Wilmington does. Pass over the middle. What a nice throw and a nice catch. Jared Smith hits number 81. Excuse me, make it Peyton Hibbard hits number 81, Carter Huffman. Short of the first down, but a nice throw by Peyton Hibbard.
And a nice hit, too, by Brody Fisher.
Good catch. Good looking play all the way around on both sides. Hibbard hits Huffman over the middle, way short of the first down, but picked up some of the yardage, and now we're in punt formation. There's the kick, a fair catch signal, but the ball bounces.
What's he doing?
How many times have we seen that?
Well, I don't. Maybe there's a different rule on punting this year because the East Clinton player instead of just letting it roll dead, chased it and picked it up, and nobody hit him.
Well, he gave the fair catch signal,
Okay.
and the ball bounced.
Didn't see it. But
Even on a fair catch signal, if you don't catch it, it's still rolls, and you got to down it. That's the traditional rule.
Correct, but you also, if you don't, on a bouncing football, that's extremely dangerous.
If it hits somebody, sure. But with the fair catch signal, he can watch it roll and then it be down by the opponent, which it was at about the 10-yard line. How many kids, though, Jeff, at all levels, how many millions of times have we seen this in our NFL watching live and on television? Those guys signal for a fair catch inside the 10-yard line and then don't catch it, and the ball drops for even 5 or 10 less yards that they would have had. It even happens at the NFL level.
Correct. That still was an odd-looking play.
Yeah,
Maybe
it was.
there's a rule.
It was. So here's East Clinton on first down. A pitch to the... He fumbled the ball, but I believe he's going to be marked down. The play was a pitch. Smith pitched to the left. The ball carrier stripped and hit Glenn Peacock. But the ball came loose, but I think the officials had blown a whistle.
Freshman Glenn Peacock getting some action tonight, and that's good to see.
How about that? A kid out here for his first night playing high school football. Probably was thinking 6 weeks ago that my whole freshman year is going to be ruined, but here he is. It's great. I love it.
Absolutely.
Clock ticking down. They might let it run out as we move to the end of the first quarter. Looks like East Clinton is not going to run a play. They're going to let the quarter run out, which the officials blow the whistle and wave the hands, and it is first quarter in the books. Wilmington 7, East Clinton nothing. Here we are at campusnation.com. All right, we just got it from our head producer, Sydney, that Clinton Massey's out in front of Alter 14-6 in the first quarter. That's a big matchup, isn't it?
Tony, I looked at all the scheduled games for the first week of the season, and that's probably the highlight game of the whole state.
Right. Can you imagine an opener, Clinton Massey versus Kettering Alder? What a great thing. And that game's being broadcast over on the other side of town, so it's a great thing going on for Campus Nation. We're here at Wilmington Alumni Field for the Wilmington Hurricane versus the East Clinton Astros. We just ended the first quarter. Tin Cap, one of our sponsors, is more than just your locally owned hard cider company. They offer handcrafted hard ciders along with local craft beers, cocktails, and pizza. Tin Cap leads the area entertainment, offering large TVs for big games like this one, and the largest outdoor patio with covered area and a large stage for live music. Join your friends at Tin Cap, where they always serve up smiles by the glass full. We'll see you live. Music on Saturdays, trivia Thursdays. Tin Cap located at 59 West Sugar Street in Wilmington, Ohio. One of our proud sponsors of tonight's high school football action on campusnation.com and the YouTube channel. Second quarter action. Ball Clinton inside the 7-yard line, pinned back. You're right, Jeff. The Wilmington's dominating the line of scrimmage, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're getting a very good pass rush, even though I don't believe they have any sacks left, but there's pressure on Jared pretty much every pass, and there are no gaps coming open for the East Clinton running backs.
So 3rd and 14, they're backed up deep on their own 6-yard line. You know, this is a recipe for disaster if you don't handle this situation right. They're in the shotgun snap. Play it safe with another run up the middle off to the right guard. Not much there. Probably setting up a punt.
Yeah, that was, I think, the intelligent decision there.
Yeah, because you make a mistake down there, you're down 2 scores, which they're not in a good spot right now either. They're backed up on their 6-yard line, be punting from their end zone on 4th and 14. Wilmington, number 81, Carter Huffman. He's lined up on the Clinton side, so should be good field position for Wilmington after this kick, assuming nothing goes wrong, which you can't assume that, as you
That's
know.
correct.
A shank punt, not much to it by Jared Smith.
With the pressure he had on, Tony, it was never blown dead, and Kendall France for Wilmington picked it up when everybody quit and made it very a heads-up play. Looks like about the 7-yard line.
Yeah,
maybe.
let's review that. The punt was shanked, and it looked like everybody was kind of asleep, just waiting for the signal to call the ball dead. But like you mentioned, France, who scored a touchdown earlier in the game, alertly picked it up. Dangerous play, because if is it the same rule in high school? Are you allowed a muff?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, in the NFL, you're allowed a muff. So if you don't,
Yes,
you don't,
I think the rule's the same.
same.
You can't return it, obviously. You certainly, if you recover it, it's your ball.
Yeah, but that ball was not muffed. It was just laying on the ground, and he picked it up and ran it down to the 14-yard line. We had just called. Here's another one of those backwards passes, complete. This is going to go for a touchdown. Touchdown, Wilmington.
Carter Huffman.
Peyton Hibbert to Carter Huffman. Just a little swing behind the line pass. Nobody out there on the right side, and Huffman took it to the yard for the touchdown. 13-0 Wilmington.
Tony, Wilmington is showing not only strength up front, but they so far have far exceeded East Clinton with speed on the perimeter.
Parker Henry, the extra point. Perfect snap. Perfect kick. And we're at 14-0. Yeah, see, let's watch that. The ball went over the goalpost, obviously. Now, who's getting it? Is it an official getting it, or is
It's
there?
Brett Brooks. That ball carried past the track and almost to the fence, and Mr. Brooks probably had to run about 60, 70 yards
So there
to get
must
the ball.
be a designated, ball toucher for both teams, because Brett Brooks was nowhere in that play. Nowhere. But he's the run that ran off the field. No spotter, no kids racing for it. It's a player picking it up and bringing it back.
Tony, I hadn't thought of that, but I think you're absolutely right, and that's a excellent pickup.
You must designate somebody,
It must be
apparently.
designated. Absolutely.
Wonder if he had to test. I bet he did. I bet he had to test. And it probably is a pretty significant role where they choose somebody that's responsible and that knows what they're doing. There's a kick inside the 5-yard line, returned by East Clinton. Number 14 looks like Trenton Guerin, brings it across the 20.
Trenton still has the ball, and he is throwing it
To number 19
to
of
Wilmington.
Wilmington.
That must have been, Wilmington uses their ball to
To
kick
kick.
off, and then the East Clinton ball comes in.
I'm telling you, when did you ever think, Jeff, that you would watch a football game where an official never touches the football? No referee has touched a ball yet.
And, typically in a pile at the end of a play, you'll have the referee there get right into it and say, everybody off, he's down.
Right.
You don't see a
None of
referee
that. Nope.
that I've seen near the ball yet.
Here's interesting. East Clinton calls a timeout on first down. Burns a timeout with 10:01 to go in the second quarter on a dead ball situation. Must have been some reason for that. Steve Olds calls him to the sidelines and his staff, and We just got word from the lovely Sydney Phillips that Massey 21, Alter 6.
Word I get is that this might be the best Massey team ever. And
Really?
I don't know how accurate that is, but my contact here in southwestern Ohio indicated that to be the case.
Well, they're taking it to the Alter Knights early. I don't like burning a timeout coming out of a dead ball on first down, right? Yeah, they called a timeout. I think you just run a play, don't you?
Yeah, you have your offense there on the
Yeah.
sideline and call it in. That's
You burned a timeout for really no reason. Clock stopped. There's a first down pass by Smith. Right sideline to Devin Guthrie, right hash. Short gain. Only a 2-yard throw.
again on both sides of the ball. Wilmington is very quick to the ball on the perimeter.
Yeah, you call a timeout for a play that doesn't really amount to much on a dead ball situation.
It's possible they may have had to because of an injury.
Yeah, and
I
also
didn't catch
this,
that.
I go back to the practice time and lack of scrimmage. That would be something you'd see early in the scrimmage season where kids aren't ready or don't know where they're lined up or where to go. And in a real game, you got to burn a timeout. There's a handoff to the right side. 34, Brody Fisher with the carry. And again, not much room to run for East Clinton.
Well, one of the things I've noticed the last few plays from scrimmage for East Clinton, and this gets back to the typical first game scenario. I'm not necessarily saying this was because of COVID, but linemen are not, it does not appear to me, getting their calls as to who's going to block who up there. And that time there were two Wilmington defenders that were not touched up front.
The center comes to the line with that ball in his hand. 63, Caden Hiles. It's hard to see if that's Caden. No, 62. There's a rollout pass back to the middle. Now that's a dangerous throw, but it was complete. You had Smith rolling to the left and throwing back to the middle.
Very difficult throw or dangerous, but again, I'm impressed with his ability to release the ball when he has a little bit of space out there. Of course, he got flushed out of the pocket that time. I'd like to see him get a little more space as this game goes on and see what he can do.
Well, because that play there is an unconventional. It's a roll out to the left, and then he throws back to the middle of the field. Dangerous. It's 4th and 2. Clinton lined up to punt. Let's see if they do, and yes, they do. The quarterback, Smith, doubling as a punter, and of course the ball rolls down in the Wilmington side. It's still rolling. Are you allowed to down it? Yes. See, you're allowed to down it. He did.
That's a net of 53 with the roll.
Big roll. And interesting, it was good to watch that a different player, 58 for East Clinton, Philip Davis, did down the ball. Now, I wonder if you have a designated downer. Philip's been active. I wonder if that's his role, too. He's the only one that can down the ball, perhaps. Don't know.
Tony, if we're invited back, I promise to call a couple athletic
Yeah, we're
and
invited
coaches.
back. We're invited back. We got 3 games on the schedule. One's next week and September 4th and also the 18th, so we'll be back. Be nice to get that clarified. What would be funny is by the time we get to that, it'll probably be changed. There's a handoff. 26 Thad Stuckey running to the left. Chris Norman on the tackle for East Clinton. 2nd and 6. Clock running with 3:55 left in the second quarter. 14-0. Hurricane leading the Astros here at Wilmington Alumni Field. Opening night, high school football 2020. There's a handoff into the line. 26, Dad Stuckey. He's a workhorse, isn't he?
He is. Again, he is a sophomore, and I look for him as the years go by to rack up a lot of yards. He's got a certain elusiveness to him. He really has good control of his hips.
Here's a 3rd and 5 play. Ball on the 25-yard line. There it is again. Every time the center bringing the ball to the line of scrimmage, it does take getting used to. Straight drop back and a nice throw over the middle, caught. Peyton Hibbert hits 81 Carter Huffman. This is like Huffman, Stuckey, Hibbert, France show for Wilmington.
Well, and even though you call them the same names regularly, the ball's being distributed different parts of the field.
Yeah, it is. That was a nice first down pickup. Hibbert to Huffman. So now the ball's on the 34. Wilmington going right to left. There's a straight drop back and all kinds of pressure and a sack. There's our guy, 58, Philip Davis, the kicker. That's his 2nd sack. I still love kickers getting sacks on defense. How about that? It's a great sight.
Absolutely. Philip calls the signals. I'm sorry. He's certainly quick off the ball was what I was going to get
Yeah,
to.
that's his 2nd sack. Lining up at like a hybrid defensive end linebacker type position.
Yeah, it's interesting. East Clinton is going with a 5 front, and you don't see that a whole lot in this day and age against the spread offenses.
Yeah, now Phillips standing up. There's a 2nd and 19 run. Isaiah Ringling, not much.
Number 1, Isaiah Ringling, the ball carrier. Brought down by number 58, Philip Davis. Flag on the play.
There is a yellow laundry on the field.
I'd be surprised if East Clinton took this one.
Yeah, it's a hold on Wilmington, of course, declined by head coach Steve Olds and his staff. Good call down there in that situation. Why move them back when you're still at 3rd and 19? You don't give them extra downs.
After the penalty brings up 3rd down and 19.
Especially with the clock about 4:30 now.
Be interesting to see if they try to pick up a 1st down or just play for field position and maybe a 4th and shorter punt. I bet you they try to go. They've converted a lot of these.
Well, again, as you correctly indicated, a lot of these are just little short passes that the receivers turn into good gains.
Yes, they do. Well, they're in the shotgun. Hibbert looking over the field. He's got 1 running back with him, 3 wides to the left, 1 to the right. I don't think they're going to run. I think they're going to try to pick it up. Clock stops at 4:30. Watch, they're going to try to pick it up. You watch. Yes, straight back to pass. Flushed out of the pocket, but throws downfield, and it is picked off. 14, Trenton Guerin for East Clinton with an interception about the Wilmington 42.
Tony, apparently, since there are so few fans here compared to normal, the band's practicing before halftime is more noisy to the players than it ordinarily would be, and I think that's what your delay was, to have the band play
Quiet
a little
down,
softer.
yeah.
Another COVID casualty.
Rule. Now, see, here we go. Wilmington had a 3rd and 18 play, backed up. Like I predicted, they looked like they were going to wheel and deal and gamble, went for it, and threw a pick. Now, I guess maybe it substitutes as a punt.
Well, not there. But again, Trenton Guerin made the interception, but that play was made by Philip Davis, who again had a lot of pressure on the quarterback and flushed him out of his pocket to the left, and he underthrew the pass.
So here's Clinton on the Wilmington side of the field at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Let's see if they can get something going. Another handoff.
Number 24, Glenn Peacock.
Glenn Peacock with the carry for East Clinton. Again, they're not getting much on the ground, are they?
I'd be surprised if they had 10 yards net.
Yeah,
this
they only
first
have
half.
a yard gain on that play. East Clinton needs a score here to stay in the game. Down 14-0 with 3:53 left in the first half. This is a big drive for them. They need points. Turnover on the Wilmington side of the field. This will be a good hold for Wilmington if they can stop them from scoring. Ball's on the ground, a flubbed handoff, but Smith picks it up and saves the play by throwing the ball in the air, but there's a flag, and I wonder if we're going to have intentional grounding.
I believe that's the call. I also was looking for an ineligible receiver downfield. I think it could have gone either way.
That's the call, intentional grounding. The snap, as you saw, went awry. Smith picked it up and tried to make something out of it by just throwing it away.
Actually, what happened was a handoff was muffed.
Yeah, right.
So it was going to be a running
Right,
play,
exactly.
and that was a pretty heads-up attempt by Jared Smith. But
I don't know that I like that call. It seemed like it was a clean play, no?
and plus I thought when the ball hit the ground on the snap or on a muffed handoff, I thought the quarterback had a little more discretion with that.
Yeah, I don't know about that call. It was made, and they moved him back. Really, I think Smith made a heads-up play because he threw the ball in a place where nobody was going to get it to try to save the down. But the official made the call, and it ends up a penalty. So something that started with good intention ends up a big loss all the way back to the 38, taking them out of that great field position that they had after the pick.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't throw the ball on first or second down.
Not getting anywhere on the ground.
True that. And, of course, as a coach, the first thing you think about when you're having trouble protecting your quarterback is to maybe go to a screen pass to the backfield out of the back, to the running back out of the backfield. But, again, early in the season, the timing, that's a tough time
Yeah,
to
and
play.
another penalty on Clinton this time for delay of game, so they move back even further. Now they're on their own 33 with 24 yards to go to convert a first down. So what started like a promising drive is now in deep trouble. Smith scrambles and loses his footing, and down he goes. So a disaster of a drive by Clinton. We were thinking Clinton had a chance to go in for a big score before the end of the half, but instead they're backed way up. We got 4th and forever, and the Hurricane call a timeout, and now the game has changed the other way. Get a Hurricane score, and Clinton's in deep trouble.
I could only say that on that series, was very confused. Would like to have seen Jared get a chance to throw the ball. Again, maybe a quick out or a post, something like that.
Well, that was a drive where the momentum seemed like it shifted because maybe Wilmington shouldn't have been throwing themselves on 3rd and 18. You get a pick on the Wilmington side of the field, and all the 3 downs, rather, including the penalty, all you did was go backwards. And now you're kicking on a 4th and 24 from your own 33-yard line, backed up to punt. And he's
Actually, it's 4th and, I think,
more
37
than that,
to 34.
Yeah, right, exactly. The scoreboard isn't up to date. It's 4th and forever. They're not going to try to pick this up. They're going to get it out of there on the punt.
Yeah, they've gone backwards so far that if you get a shank here,
Right.
Wilmington's ready to
Wilmington's
score.
in great shape. So a game of momentum, Jeff, as you know, it changes in a heartbeat. So what looked promising for Clinton is now looking promising for Wilmington. There's the punt. Goes out of bounds by Jared Smith, the punter-quarterback combo.
I'm just amazed that the ball sits there like a
Nobody gets it.
like a bomb.
Just sitting there. Nobody touching it.
And in
Oh,
fact,
somebody kicked it. There, then look at that. The 54 of Wilmington with the ball laying there dead. Brock Rapich, the senior, he kicks it across to the East Clinton team, and the East Clinton people pick it up. And Brooke is actually the center for Wilmington, so he's got his own ball that he's carrying out there. It does take some getting used to, doesn't it?
I haven't found that comfort zone yet.
6 feet away.
So it's a big drive now for both teams. If Wilmington can get a score, it's East Clinton's in a world of hurts. Okay, here's interesting. Rapich trots off, and in comes another center. 76 Remington Smith. How about that name, Remington Smith? There's a handoff. Hibbert to Thad Stuckey again. We've called that combo a lot. Second and 8.
Tony, you have an excellent spotter up here. He just mentioned to me that perhaps what's happening is the backup centers are maybe mandated to get in the game so that the chance of passing Corona is less.
Here's a pitch to the right.
I will ask about that this week
Yeah,
as
ask
well.
about that. Stuckey picks up short gain. Looks now we're third down, about long 7. Make it a long 5. 3rd and 5 on the Wilmington 47-yard line. Clock ticking, 2:13 to go, first half. I give the kids credit because they seem like they understand the rule at least, right? So they've been coached up to understand what their responsibilities or duties with the ball are. There's a straight drop and a beautiful throw and catch and a great move. What a nice looking play that was. Peyton Hibbert to 39, Jeff Valentine.
Yeah, beautiful throw.
Good looking play.
That's what we would call under 2 minutes, Tony. And what we would call that, at least in my day, was a waggle where action starts one way, the quarterback fakes to the running back, and then runs the other way to the left. And again,
good looking, well-designed play.
That was a beautiful throw on the run by Peyton.
1:48 to go. This is danger time now for Clinton. If the Hurricane take it in here, it's a long struggle for East Clinton. There's Stuckey, but he's hit. He fumbled the ball. I think Clinton's got it. Wow. What a turn of events that was. We talked about that a minute ago, about how this game goes up, down, up, down, up, down. You never know what happens. Here's Hurricane ready to go in for almost a game-clinching type of score right before the end of the half, and they fumble the ball inside the 10-yard line, recovered by East Clinton, and they live to see another day.
Well, they're hanging in by these turnovers. Instead of 21 or maybe 28, they're still at 14. I think that's good news for the Astros.
Now, this will be interesting if they try to score from this area of the field with only 1:38 to go. 1 timeout left. I bet you they don't. I bet you we're going to see kind of a run out the clock type of offense for East Clinton here at the end of the first half. But we'll see. First down, the ball's at the 4. And like we predicted, a dive play into the line.
Number 34, Brody Fisher, the ball carrier.
Brody Fisher just picks up a couple.
Wilmington has 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, let's call one.
My guess will be that they're going to use them on 2nd and 3rd down.
Right, I think that's the right call.
If a first down is not made on this play.
Yep, I think that's the right call by Scott Killen and his staff. Clock at 1:05 and counting. It is 2nd and 7 from the 7-yard line. 2 timeouts left for the Hurricane.
Nice play.
Yeah, now a first down run.
That's your freshman, Tony.
Yeah, that's 24, Glenn Peacock.
Brought down to number 2, Tanner Killen.
Good first down run, got him out of distress. And now it doesn't look like Wilmington's going to use the timeout. They're letting the clock run. Probably the right call in that situation. You called that perfectly, Jeff. If you stop them on 2nd down, you're using your timeouts. But the fact that he ran for a first down negates that strategy.
That always bothers me at any level. You see coaches not manage their timeouts correctly. Both coaches tonight are doing a good job on that type of thing.
Brought down on the play by number 56.
Well, another play into the line for Clinton, and it looks like the clock is just going to run out at the end of the first half. No snaps. We're going to get to halftime at the Wilmington Hurricane 14, the East Clinton Astros 0, as the teams leave the field. What'd you think of the first half, Jeff?
Clearly the better team the first half was Wilmington, but since East Clinton has stayed in the game, and I think they've got a couple players that can make something happen, I'm glad to see it's still 14-0 from a broadcaster's perspective.
Right, because had Wilmington scored there, they were in deep trouble. But the turnover inside the 10-yard line was bad for the Hurricane, losing the ball and a chance to score. We're here at campusnation.com. I'm Tony Mancuso with state champion college quarterback Jeff Merklin calling the color. Zach Bayless on the camera. Sydney Phillips, our producer, is running the show, giving us updates from the Clinton Massey Alter game on the other side of this Campus Nation network. We're at 14-0 at halftime here at Alumni Field. Good time to talk about Sam's Meats. You want to talk about Sam this time, Jeff, or you want me to? You talk about Sam.
Very good. With regard to Sam's, football fans are encouraged to stop by Sam's Meats, which is located in Wilmington at 1209 West Locust Street. Please support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats is fresh chicken, pork, and beef, along with deli cheese and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping you to save both time and money. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar meals, and they're made to order grill. Sam's Meats also offer catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Give Sam's a visit and enjoy their product.
Well, we got the traditional halftime show. The band has come out, so we don't see anything unusual about this.
In fact, in August games, I don't know that I've ever seen the band ever wear their uniforms anyway.
Yeah, they don't. They're in shorts and T-shirts.
Correct. So,
tan khaki shorts with the gray T-shirts.
You know, this COVID, Tony, the effect trickles down to everything because in the summer, I'm not aware of any band in the state that doesn't get to go to a band camp.
Right.
And that is where they spend, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 days focused on nothing but their formations. And that's very important. As you know, the timing is important for bands, too.
Sure is. Because it has to look right, especially to the fans upstairs. And I never understood how I've never been in a marching band, but, you know, being involved watching theater through the years, I never understood how they vision and they're able to script it to look so good. It takes a heck of a talent to be a choreographer, a band director. Really, those guys and gals don't get enough credit because to make these formations look so pristine is a heck of a talent.
Oh, no question about it. There are, believe it or not, computer programs that I've seen, at least with regard to Ohio State, they actually program things in and see if it works or not before they even get the band members on the field. I would guess probably that technology is used by high schools.
Why not?
too.
Of course. Now, you mentioned the word that's sacred around these parts and all parts of this great state. Ohio State, projected to be a national championship contender again in 2020. Ryan Day, no football. What do you think, Jeff? Isn't it just a tragedy?
It's a tragedy for sports in Ohio, epic proportions.
How are we not playing Big Ten football? No Ohio State, Michigan. No Penn State, Wisconsin. No Iowa, Nebraska. It's really a sad, sad day.
No Jim Harbaugh getting routed again for
Right.
we Ohio State fans.
That rivalry means so much to both schools and both states. Not going to be played, at least not so far. Now, could there be a miracle?
Well, I don't know if you saw the latest today, but there is a movement towards the Big Ten saying, well, maybe we can play, but we'll start in October.
There you go. That, to me, was the way to have done it from the beginning. We're not going to have football in April. Forget that. That was a silly idea. Whoever said that was just saying it to just placate the people that were angry about it, because you can't have spring football in April and then try to start up again the first week of September. Forget that. That was a ridiculous idea. Playing in January was silly, almost as silly, because if the rest of your teams have already competed for a national title, what are you doing? Just playing for scrimmages and for funsies?
Well,
Ohio State isn't in the funsies business
No.
when it comes to college football.
um,
We're playing for the title.
is the United States Defense Director in for funsies on cannons and nukes?
No.
It's serious.
So forget that. That was a second worst idea. It seemed to me that the compromise was always, why not start the end of October and run till mid to late February? That seemed to me to make the most sense. Slow down the rest of it so that you can play a national title playoff and forget even a national title playoff for the Big Ten and Pac-12 at their own pace. Just play 4 or 5 regular season games and get in the regular playoff system.
Well, unlike high school, that would be difficult, I think, on colleges to only play 5 or 6 games. But, of course, you've been preaching on this for quite a while now, and your ideas are great. And I actually kind of thought about that last week, and I actually came up with what I think is a pretty good idea. You schedule 8 games. You figure out a way to have a conference champion. Then instead of 4 teams in the playoffs, you have 8. You have the conference, the 5 power conferences champion, and then you have 3 wild cards. You could knock that out in 3 weeks.
Easy. Piece of cake.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to go into February unless there was some enormous COVID breakout again.
It doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to navigate it through. You could have a traditional playoff and you could have a traditional national champion, and if we go on the field and we don't win it, then that's the way it was supposed to be. But to not play and to be stood down, the entire Big Ten, the entire Pac-12, is just a tragedy for everybody involved. The kids themselves, the coaches, the parents, the students, us,
Businesses.
us as alumni that live for this every weekend. We've had it in our life for 50 plus years, and this year it is not there to watch. And just to think about an institution like the Ohio State University not playing a college football season. What would, if I would have told you that the Clemson Fields interception was about the last play you'd see for Ohio State for over a year, would you have believed that?
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
no way. No way.
I was already looking forward to this year. Another subject, Tony, I'd actually like to hear you comment on because of your personal situation this week. But you don't play football, but you try to get the kids into the college. And already where my son went, Alabama, they had 500 cases. reported the first week of school.
Right. So what do? You can't let that keep multiplying. You got to shut them down, send them home. My own daughter, starting as a freshman at OSU, they wrote they had all kinds of restrictions, and she, being a Franklin County, Central Ohio girl anyway, tried to move into the dorms, but it just wasn't real college dorm life. People were leaving. You had restrictions on get-togethers. The food situation was all jibber-walkied. So they gave kids an option to go home and be online at home, and my daughter took advantage of that choice. Now, is that ideal? No. You want them on campus enjoying the party life and the social life and the way you make friends with people that end up your lifetime friends all over the country, as you know. Some of your best friends are people you were friends with as freshmen in college. Me too. We keep in contact with them every single day still, 35, 40 years later. So it's a disaster, the fact that you missed out on all that. It's very sad and unfortunate, and the kids are suffering, not just the football players, but the entire student body and the entire community. Like you said, the guy who's running the bars and the 12 TVs gets nothing, no revenue, no people watching. Matter of fact, they're not even allowed in there to watch it in droves. So it's a lose, lose, lose all the way around. I really hope it's not too late. You can get a schedule together this quickly to start mid to late October. Why don't everybody take a break, think this through, not let ego get in the way? Because as you know, psychologically, sometimes when you're an administrator in charge, you make a decision that you think is right, and it's hard to back you out of it, even if you were wrong and perhaps thought of it incomplete or not thoroughly. I hope we don't have that. I hope people can say, look, all right, we thought we were going to quit. We weren't going to play, but we decided this time to go, and let's hope for that, because we need football in Ohio. We need football in the Big Ten, and we need that to go all the way around.
Agreed. And another point is that I would hope the administrators, whether it be league commissioners or athletic directors, everything this year is odd. It's bizarre. It may be the only time this happens in our lifetime. So I hope they don't let being boxed into a corner, as they would see it, affect their decision to
exactly.
To rethink.
Okay. You were going to play a shortened schedule. You made that announcement. Ohio State, Michigan was going to play on October 24th, which was a little bit odd. But, hey, that was the new normal, so to speak. And then 10 days or so later, you call it all off completely. I think that was premature. It wasn't necessary to make that jump that fast. You had other options to just say, I don't mind just saying, hey, let's take a look at where we are middle of October. Let's have Ohio State, Michigan on October 24th be the opening game. I think that would be fine. Better than having empty stadiums and having nothing. As you know, my oldest daughter goes to Michigan, and she's a senior there, and one of her goals is to one last time to walk in the big house. And it's really sad, and she's trying to scheme her way in there just to be in there, which is going to be hard with security. But, hey, that's how kids feel. That's how kids feel. So here we are, second half kickoff. CampusNation.com. I'm Tony Mancuso doing the play-by-play. Jeff Merklin, state champion high school quarterback for West Jefferson. College for football quarterback for Muskingum on the color. Zach Bayless, our cameraman, entertaining the fans. He's got all kinds of people he's waving to and giving the high sign to. Here we go with the second half kickoff. Wilmington kicking from our right to left. This is a big drive for East Clinton coming out of the half. Be nice to score if you're the Astros. Kick inside the 5-yard line. Returned up the right side by number 14, Trenton Guerin.
Number 14, Trenton Guerin, the ball carrier. Brought down by number 12, TJ Gillen.
T.J. Gillen with a tackle. Ball will be spotted coming out of the second half kickoff at the 23-yard line. In white, red numbers, gray pants. We already said they look like the 68 national champion Buckeyes. Trailing 14-0, Wilmington Hurricane pretty much dominated the first half, didn't they, Jeff?
Yeah, unfortunately, we weren't provided statistics, but I would have to say Wilmington was probably up around 200, 225 yards, maybe 175, and I'd be surprised if East Clinton had more than 50.
Right, I'd say that's about right. Don't have the official stats, but boy, just calling it, that's what it seemed like. There's another run up the middle. It's Brody Fisher again. Clinton needs a drive here, Jeff. This is big. Make it Glenn Peacock, 24. Glenn Peacock, the freshman with the ball carrier. Just a bull run up the middle. Picked up about 4. It's 2nd and 6.
Well, let's see how they come out this half. Maybe at halftime, a lot of what happens there is line adjustments that the coaches go over with the offensive linemen and trying to make sure everybody knows who their man is.
If East Clinton can get a score on this drive, we've got a game. Flag down on the play, a rollout pass to the right sideline is incomplete, but there was a flag down. I think we might have some kind of a motion penalty on East Clinton.
You also have a penalty on Wilmington, I believe. I do think that they got the roughness call on the quarterback this time.
Got 2 flags on the field. The officials huddling up. No masks. We do get the holding on East Clinton, and we get the roughing the passer on Wilmington. So we're going to play that down again like it never existed. 2nd and 6, just pretend like it didn't happen. That's what offsetting penalties do. So now we're 2nd and 6. Like we said, Jeff, this is a big drive. The next team, if Wilmington scores next, East Clinton's going to have a big hill to climb. So Clinton needs to get on the board here to make this a ball game heading down the stretch.
Wilmington also in a 5 front. Again, both teams in a 5 front tonight. Kind of surprising to me.
Another handoff. Goes nowhere. Those runs into the line have been not successful for East Clinton.
And that play is a running back jab stepping to the right and then coming back to the left. I think the quicker hitting plays will be better for East Clinton tonight because they
dominated on the line, yeah.
And they don't look as quite as big as Wilmington. So let's see if they make a couple adjustments here.
Okay, here's 3rd and 9 at the 24-yard line. A big down for both teams. Clinton on the wrong side of a 14-0 deficit to the Wilmington Hurricane. 3rd down and 9 play. 2 wide receivers to the left. Tight end to the left. Straight drop back and a pass over the middle, a little bit high and overthrown. Intended for number 3.
Branson Smith falls incomplete.
Branson Smith. Well, there's 2 number 3s. We're not sure which one of those was it.
I think it was Branson Smith over the PA.
As called by the PA guy. But it's incomplete. It brings up 4th and 9 and another punting situation for East Clinton.
And we're waiting for the ball to get back.
Ball just overthrown. Led the receiver in the middle. One of those plays where in the old days you threw that type of ball, your David Fulchers and your Ronnie Lotts would light you up, huh?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't they, Jeff? Yeah,
absolutely.
How many times did we see that on both sides?
And I date myself, but Jack Tatum
him too.
was another one.
Even earlier than that. There's a punt to the 43-yard line. It's fair caught, but there's More flags on the field. Let's see, the refs are huddling up. The Wilmington players are acting like it's on Clinton, and they might make him re-kick. Let's see what we got. No, it's a
Oh.
roughing the kicker call.
Or running into. No, he gave the personal foul call, so it's
Right, should be a first down, right? What a turn of events that was.
In fact, in high school, I'm not even sure they have the lesser.
Running into, no.
Yeah.
How about that? What was a disaster opening drive by East Clinton is extended by a roughing the kicker penalty on Wilmington, which gives and breathes new life into the East Clinton Astros. Ball way up on the 39-yard line now. 1st and 10. Instead of Wilmington with their ball, Clinton keeps it. There's a run to the freshman Peacock to the right side.
Again, Tony, that slow developing play in the backfield. Just, I don't believe I've seen it hit for more than 2 or 3 tonight.
No, it doesn't. But again, are these kids and coaching staff, are they ready for much exotic stuff this early in the year? No scrimmages, limited practices.
That's an excellent.
Yeah, it just seems like maybe you got to be vanilla because that's all you've been able to coach them. Especially you got a freshman running back. First game as a varsity football player. 2nd and 9, all kinds of pressure, and here is another flag on the sack. This time we got a holding, though.
Number 11, Jared Smith, sacked on the play by number 55, Brett Brooks. There's a flag on the play.
There's our Brett Brooks again, the designated ball holder. Gets the sack, so the penalty's going to be declined by East Clinton. So it is 3rd and 8. Clock's running with 9:11 left in the third quarter. 14-0, Wilmington leading East Clinton. Here at Alumni Field, Wilmington High School, campusnation.com. Also available on the YouTube channel, the sister station 106.9 WZAA out of Jeffersonville. Great station. Been on there talking many times.
Yeah. And really, your host for that show does a really good job.
He's excellent. Bill Raybeck, love him. Good
And,
dude.
The topics are interesting. Would encourage everyone out there to tune that in. I believe it's on Monday afternoon.
We do it either Thursdays or Wednesdays. It varies, but they got a schedule that varies. I like talking sports, of course, as you know. Let's hear about Tim's Tin Cap, Jeff, during this timeout.
Tin Cap is more than just your locally owned hard cider company. Tin Cap offers handcrafted hard ciders along with local craft beers, cocktails, and pizza. And there is entertainment offered, large TVs for big games like these, the largest outdoor patio with a covered area and a large stage for live music. Join your friends at Tin Cap, where they always serve up smiles by the glassful. And I assume that everybody that goes there is going to do their duty to society and socially distance.
.8:33 left, a break in the action. How about that? We heard from Sydney. Sydney's full of good information talking about how Tin Cap offers carry out on cider and food. 3rd down run to the left. Not much there.
Branson Smith, the ball carrier.
Branson Smith only about a yard gain. We're not running the ball, Jeff. East Clinton is not, the running game is just not effective.
Well, I think the issue that you're dealing with is what you've said in the last quarter and a half, which is they may just have a very limited
Vanilla, yeah,
package
it's
of
all
plays
vanilla.
tonight.
That's all they got.
And really, high school coaches know what their kids can and can't do.
Sure. They're with them every day.
Right.
There's a punt that's cradled by Wilmington. So he's down. He got hurt on the fair catch. Who is that? Let's see if we can spot the number. There's a Wilmington player down. There's the designated ball handler. Now, it's interesting. The three trainers that are out there, all in masks, stretching out. We still didn't get a number. I think it's Carter Huffman.
Yes, I think it is. He's
Yeah,
the
down.
punt returner.
Stretching him out. I have some kind of a cramp.
Wouldn't be surprising, although the humidity has gone down today with the rain. It's still a tough atmosphere to play in when you have August in Ohio.
It's humid.
I think you're right about the cramp.
So here comes the Wilmington offense and the East Clinton defense. We're at 7:43 left in the third quarter. Wilmington still leading 14-0. We haven't had any scoring for a while. Again, another key drive.
Nice play by Brody Fisher.
Thane McCoy looks like, we don't have the stats, but that may be one of his first carries of the game. 1 yard gain. 2nd and 9. Again, we keep saying this, big drives for both teams. Wilmington gets a touchdown here. East Clinton is going to have an uphill battle, but same in reverse. East Clinton holds them. We're still in the ball game. Another handoff to Thane McCoy.
East Clinton, Tony, is a very scrappy team.
Yeah.
And both teams are fun to watch. And I think the game, other than the penalties, which have been
the defenses
frequent.
have been strong.
Right.
Both sides defensively have looked strong. I think ahead of the offenses, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's not surprising at this time of year. So here's a big 3rd and 10 play with 6:28 to go. Peyton Hibbard getting to the sideline, getting the play called in. Up to the huddle comes the Wilmington Hurricane. 2 wides both side, running back in the backfield, and there's a throw into the no man's land that incomplete. Not much chance of that getting completed.
Philip Davis again on the pressure.
He's been everywhere, that kid.
Absolutely.
He's had a great game.
2 sacks and I believe 3 hurries.
Yeah, that was a hurry by him, playing like that hybrid stand-up linebacker position. Wreaking havoc, Philip Davis, a junior. Listed at 6'1", 230. So good size
Speed.
outside LB with some speed. So Wilmington lining up the punt, and the kick is away, and good kick. Fair caught by 13, Landon Runyon of East Clinton. Talk about Sam's Meats. Football fans, stop by Sam's Meats, located here in Wilmington, Ohio at 1209 West Locust Street. to support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, and beef, along with deli cheese and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping you to save both time and money, which you want to save both. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar meals and their made-to-order grill. Sam's Meats also offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts, open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Go check out Sam's Meats. Little Sam's Meats sounds good about right now, midway through the third quarter. We need Sydney to spring for a spread up here for some Sam's Meats.
If the world were
Call in an order.
if the world were normal, they'd have probably catered us to have a little bit to eat. Wouldn't have to send somebody out for it.
So here we go again with a dead ball timeout. Why, Jeff? Why? How many times have we yelled about this?
Meats did cater a WZAA event we did recently.
We would, if we had $1 for every time we yelled at Marvin Lewis's crew for calling a dead ball timeout when it just seemed like things were disorganized, and East Clinton's in that trap. That's at least the second time that's happened tonight. A dead ball timeout coming out of a punt. What's that a sign of? You're not ready, you're not coached. What's the problem?
They probably did not get the play in appropriately. Perhaps, again, an injury or a minor injury got things a little messed up. And it's as frustrating as it can be at the high school. At the high school level, 5 yards is a lot.
Yeah,
so
it is.
You don't want to lose.
So you don't want to lose it, but you also don't want to burn timeouts in those situations too. Another handoff to the right side. It's 34, Brody Fisher again. No running room, Jeff. It seems like Clinton's abandoned the passing game. Some of those throws were kind of effective in picking up yardage, but it seems like the passing game has been shelved. I kind of like the little rollout passes, but we haven't seen many lately. Interesting formation. Pass is incomplete. Now that looked like, what did that look like? Tom Osborne and the wishbone almost. What was that?
Again, I think what you're seeing is a function of the quarterback being hurried.
The formation was interesting. You haven't seen two running backs and a fullback literally since 1973, it seems like. Yeah, way before Zach Bayless, our cameraman's time. He might have seen those things on TV. We watched them live. That shows how old we are.
Our games that were in our ear aren't even on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, the film's fizzled out. Yeah, 8mm into Super 8 was a great advancement, Zach, in the early mid-'70s. If you had a Super 8 camera, you were big time.
The second half is just starting at the other game. The score is 28-13 Madison.
There's a nice run. There's the first time that little running play was effective. It's a pitch to Brody Fisher, who crosses midfield into the Wilmington side of the field. Nice run. That's one of the first times they've had some space to run, and it was successful.
Again, it was a pitch out, but it was really kind of a quick pitch with the runner getting to the line of scrimmage in a quick fashion, and East Clinton's blockers were able to
Our little
get their man.
birdie Sydney tells us that Clinton Massey 28, Alter 16. 28-13, Clinton Massey over Alter in a huge game in Ohio. Huge. Two powerhouses.
Number 11, Jared Smith, the ball carrier. Brought out of bounds by number 56, Brady Sturgill.
That's one thing I like about Coach McSorley of it, Clinton Massey. He's not afraid to play anybody.
Yeah, why not? When you've had a powerhouse program like him.
That's correct.
Loss of 3 on the play brings up
Where do they get those kids all the time? Just every year they're just a powerhouse.
Well, he's over the years he's been there, he's built up the junior program, or he's given guidance to the junior program how he wants it done, and the kids love football.
No, good for them. There's a straight drop back by Smith. He's pressured. Going to lose yardage or at least get back to the line. Nothing open downfield. This is a huge, what you call a huge down.
One of the things I've noticed the last couple of pass plays, Tony, is they're sending 2 receivers deep, and the third receiver is in the flat but to the other side of the field. I'd like to see them go back to the short stuff on 1st and 2nd down and see if they can move the ball down the field that way.
Well, here's a big 3rd and 13 with 3:41 to go. East Clinton ball on their own 47-yard line. This is a huge 3rd down play. Smith back to pass. He's rushed out to the left. He's throwing downfield against his body. The ball's up in the air.
Beautiful
and
catch.
Caught. Wow. Is that Landon Runyon, 13 on the receiving end?
Landon Runyon, absolutely.
I'll tell you, this Smith kid throws better on the run than in the pocket. He does. Everybody up here's nodding their head yes.
Right. Yes, on that play, too, he threw a very nice ball downfield,
Yes.
but it was just a tad short, but that was fine. The receiver could see it, came back a little bit. The defender was lost.
Well, here we are, 3:02, 3 minutes to go. This is, like we've said over and over again, Clinton needs a score to bring this game to a 4th quarter game. And this has been a long, expanded drive. They're on the 19-yard line, need a touchdown to keep themselves in the game. As the clock's running down in the end of the 3rd quarter, there's disaster hits. A pitch to Peacock that's mishandled. I think Clinton got it back, though. Who got it, Jeff? Clinton?
Yeah, remains the the Astros ball.
That was a dangerous play, a pitch that was mishandled. Looked like it might have been a hair behind him, no?
Yeah, and low. What you need to do on that is get the ball out in front of the running back so he can run into it, just almost like a pass. But that was the same quick pitch that they've run a time or two with success on this drive. So I think a coach has found something that works. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back to it.
Can't turn it over here. There's 3 wides bunched to the left. And, of course, it's a run to the right. Jared Smith, not much there. What's the concept, Jeff, bunching 3 guys to the left and then running the ball to the right?
Well, you take the extra or the defensive backs are on put on that side of the field, and you create one-on-one matchups on the weak side.
Yeah, so if you beat it, you're going to go for a while.
Right. Now, the thing about that, though, is you rarely see it work when you have your 3 receivers set to the short side of the field, and then you run it to the wide side.
Right. It seems like that's backwards. Okay, the scoreboard says it's 4th and 13, but I think this is 3rd down. Smith back to pass, throws it up in the air into the end zone, and it's picked by Wilmington. Brought back out of the end zone. That ball was just thrown up for grabs into the end zone.
13.
Smith is picked off by Cameron McElvoy, a junior defensive back for Wilmington. Instead of staying in the end zone, runs it out to about the, where is he? About the 6-yard line?
That's
First and 10 from the 6.
Is that good or no?
Fans, just a quick announcement over our concession stand.
All right, I think it's time to talk about Tin Cap. Tin Cap is more than just your locally owned hard cider company. Tin Cap offers handcrafted hard ciders. Do you drink hard cider?
I do
Along with
not.
local craft beers, cocktails, and pizza. Sounds good. What do we got? A safety?
Very close. I think the referees have ruled that he was tackled at the one and
We're
driven back
talking
into the
about
end zone.
Tim's Caps, and we missed the play, but they lead the air in entertainment, offering large TVs for big games like these, the largest outdoor patio with covered area, and a large stage for live music. Join your friends at Tin Cap, where they always serve up smiles by the glass full. We'll see you live for music on Saturdays, trivia on Thursdays at Tin Cap, located 59 West Sugar Street, Wilmington, Ohio, home of where we are at Wilmington Alumni Field. All right, we lost a play. What happened, Jeff?
6-yard loss on a running play. It's 2nd and 16 from just outside the goal line.
And that marks the end of the third quarter, where we have Wilmington still leading 14-0. This game has stayed at 14-0 for a while now. That last drive by Clinton, which ended in an end zone interception, was huge. Had to score, and Wilmington held them. Now they're backed up. They're going to be at their inside the
Inside their
1 yard line. So you got a chance now where the game could turn if Wilmington doesn't get their way out of that mess. The team switching sides. Fans have stayed, and they're wearing masks. I can see most of the fans wearing masks. I don't know that they're really 6 feet apart. That's a lot looking less than 6 feet. It looks like about 6 inches.
Well, I think, Tony, at least what I've heard is that families and the groups of 4,
You're allowed.
You can cluster together.
Well, if you can sit together at the dinner table or in the same house, you would think that you would be able to go to a outdoor football stadium and sit together, especially if you're related.
Well, it was close until I think week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Where the new guidelines were thrown out?
Correct. The talk was that even if football went on, there would be no fans.
Well, I don't like that either. No alternative is good. All right, Clinton from the inside their end zone is going to throw the ball out, and it is
Beautiful.
completed. What a timing play that was. Peyton Hibbert to his favorite receiver, Carter Huffman.
16 yards and just enough to pick up the first down.
2 seniors. That was a dangerous pass play. He was backed up in his own end zone, threw the ball out there. Carter Huffman came back for the catch. And a big first down conversion, getting Wilmington out from under the shadows of the goalpost. First play of the fourth quarter and a big play for Wilmington.
Goodbye.
He might go. There's a run up the middle.
Oh, what a cutback.
What a cutback by McAvoy. Didn't get to the end zone, but wow, what a run.
Ball carrier number 24,
Thane McCoy make it, not McAvoy, McCoy.
The Wilmington ball on the 15.
Sophomore. Looked like he ran out of gas down the field, but a big run.
The thing I like about the Wilmington offense is that they spread out the touches on the running game and keep the kids fresh.
Now, we have an injury timeout, but how many times during this game, Jeff, and how many times in our watching and analysts' careers as amateurs and broadcasters and analyzers that we have seen games turn on one play? Wilmington backed up inside their 1 yard line on third down, and they throw from out of the end zone, pick up a first down, and then on the next running play, break a long run, and now ready to go in to score again.
First and 10 from the 17.
Was that a timeout or was that a water timeout?
Player down.
Player down. I'm sorry. Didn't see who was down.
Somebody in East Clinton was shaken up, but
He
he's
looks-
up and off, so nothing
That's good.
serious. We don't want serious injuries ever. We especially don't want them on opening night. Clock running. This is maybe the old ball game here. Where's Dandy Don to sing "Turn Out the Lights"? If we get a
We date ourselves again.
yeah, there we go. See, Zach had no idea what we were talking about there. He's like, Dandy Don, who's that? That's when Monday Night Football was fun. Now it's not fun like it used to be. They can't figure out an announcing crew, but think about our childhood. We had it made. Gifford and Meredith and Howard Cosell, almost as good as Tony Mancuso, Jeff Merklin, and Zach Bayless almost. Not quite. There goes
Oh, I like that. Giving the ball to the kid
the
that
kid
got you
that
down
ran
the
all the
field.
way down the field. Thane McCoy is given the honor and glory of taking it in for the touchdown to give Hurricane a 20-0 lead, pending the extra point. What a huge turn of events that was, Jeff. Wait a minute. Flag down. We're not going to have a touchdown. They're going to take it off the board.
Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't see what it was. Holding.
So, a reprieve, so to speak. This game was in deep trouble had that score been allowed to hold up, but it's not. So take the touchdown off the board. Wilmington now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
1st and 7.
There he goes again. How about that? They give it right back to the same kid. His last touchdown called back for a penalty. This time, Thane McCoy rumbles in on the very next play, untouched. And the score is tacked on anyway, 20-0 Wilmington. This time, no flags, and they're lining up for the extra point.
Really a good-looking running back, Tony.
Yeah, he had a nice, long, open field run, scored a touchdown on the play before that was called back, and now gets the touchdown on the legal play. Extra point is good.
That's about as far as you can take the ball down the field on a drive, Tony,
Yes.
inside the one.
99.9 yards all the way down, highlighted by the third down completion in the end zone. They were backed up in their own end zone, and Peyton Hibbert hit Carter Huffman for the first down call, and it led to the long run by McCoy. Like I say, McCoy got the honor of scoring 2 touchdowns on that drive. What was funny is the one that he was running for the score, he got caught. So really, he had almost 3 touchdowns on one drive.
That's right.
Only counts once, though.
I think Wilmington's line over the course of the game now, it appeared on that drive that they've just worn East Clinton out. That play was run over Brett Brooks, the left tackle, and he actually made a very large hole for the running back. Good to see.
Well, East Clinton's in trouble. 21-0 with 11:16 to go in the ball game. You have got to score if you're going to stay in it. There's the kick. It hits the ground and a knee down at about the 16-yard line. Jeffrey, I want to hear about Sam's Meats. Tell me something about them.
Well, first thing, as far as Sam's Meats and our radio station, I'm told by our staff that Sam's Meats also has a carry-out of hard cider in the food. And in fact, Sam's Meats recently catered an event for radio station 106.9 WZAA.
How come I wasn't invited to that, Sydney? Free food catered? Why didn't I get to go? No, I didn't get to go. Tell us about Sam's Meats.
All right. Sam's Meats is located here in Wilmington, 1209 West Locust Street. Please stop by and support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, and beef, along with deli cheese and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping to save you both time and money. The dining room is open for your enjoyment, including homemade hot bar meals and the made-to-order grill menu. Sam's Meats also offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts, Monday through Friday, 9 in the morning to 6:30 in the evening, 8 to 6 on Saturdays. Go check them out.
Nifty first down run by Jared Smith. Got to get the ball up in the air this time, Coach, because you got to score.
Well, and even if this game ends up being out of reach at this point, I think it would be good to throw a few balls and against live competition since you haven't had the scrimmages.
Yeah, let's see what you can do. You haven't had live scrimmages, probably limited practice time. So you're kind of learning on the go in many ways, learning your players, learning what works, what doesn't. There's another handoff into the line on 2nd and short, and it is stuffed short of the first down. That play there has been ineffective all night long. The dive into the line.
Can't get any movement up front.
No, can't. Nope. And give the Hurricane credit. They've stuffed it every time it's been called. It broke out once. So here we go again. A big 3rd down and short this time. 3rd and 3. This is a big play here, Jeff. Got to convert. And they stay on the ground and they do not convert. Don't love the call. Another handoff into the line. Brody Fisher stops short. You'd think after a while the staff of the East Clinton Astros would say, wait a minute, that's not working.
Well, again, you had the receiver split right and a running play to the left. Again, hoping to have more favorable matchups.
Yeah, but they don't. They're stacked up. They can't get beyond the first wave. So now they're in punting situation, and it's a fake punt, but no, he does get rid of it. Looked like for a moment we had a fake punt, but he did kick it out of there. Jared Smith, fair catch made by Wilmington. Interesting. I've noticed this too, Jeff. Let's see if you've picked up on this. A lot of these ball exchanges aren't being thrown with your hands. They're being kicked.
That's right.
Which that's what happened there. The dead ball spot was kicked by the do-it-all Philip Davis for East Clinton. He kicks it to his teammates. We've seen 55 Brett Brooks do that for Wilmington. I wonder what is up with that.
We'll find out this week.
Yeah, find out, because they're not touching the ball. They're kicking it off to the side, which reminds me of Tin Cap. Tin Cap is more than just your locally owned hard cider company. Tin Cap offers handcrafted hand ciders along with local craft beers, cocktails, and pizza. Tin Cap leads the area in entertainment, offering large TVs for big games like the East Clinton versus Wilmington game, the largest outdoor patio with covered area, and a large stage for live music. Join your friends at Tin Cap, where they always serve up smiles by the glassful. See you live music Saturdays, trivia Thursdays at Tin Cap, located at 59 West Sugar Street in Wilmington. That sounds like a challenge to go over there and win some trivia contests.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd say why not? Why not go into Tin Cap and walk out with a trophy? Now it's time to milk the clock.
Tony, we'll see if Wilmington can put it away on this drive. Their line of Brock Rapich, Brett Brooks, Zeth Cohen, Remington Smith, and Andrew Stewart have gotten stronger as we've gone into the game here into the fourth quarter.
New quarterback for Wilmington, too, Cameron McElvoy Jr.
Good to get him some work.
Yeah,
in.
why not, with a 21-0 lead? Let him take some snaps. You never know when you might need your backup. For some teams, the backup is the most popular guy on campus, huh, Jeff?
Absolutely.
Always clamoring for him, especially if you're losing, which Wilmington isn't. But you always,
I think the greatest position in all the sports is backup quarterback in the NFL because you get a pretty good salary and you don't get beat up.
especially if you're backing up someone who's a stud, like
Right.
Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes, that type of guy. Think about Peyton Manning's backup for all those years, whoever that might have been. What's the blonde? Yeah, the blonde kid. What was the blonde kid's name that played the backup for Peyton Manning? I forget, but the point being, he never saw the field, and even when they would wave him in there, he would wave him out. Tom Brady. How many backups for Tom Brady got in?
Okay, we're at 20 Massey. Third quarter.
Okay, Sydney off to the side is giving us the Clinton Massey altar score. Clinton Massey 28, Alder 20 in the third quarter. There's a quarterback keep, and he might go, but he steps out of bounds. Cameron McElvoy, the backup quarterback, on a sprint to the right, big yardage. This kid runs the offense cleanly. I like him.
He's smooth out
Yeah,
there.
he is smooth. Looks in control. We were talking about, I just thought of it. It's Curtis Painter.
That's right.
Curtis
Purdue.
Painter.
Purdue
The
Boilermaker.
blonde bomber. Peyton told him, Curtis, sit down, son. You're not playing. Ever.
Wear that baseball cap and collect your money.
Right. I love Peyton when Dungy would run the punt team out and Peyton would say, get back on the sideline. Go back.
That's right.
And he'd pick it up, too, every time. Every time he sent that punt team back to the sideline, he converted, which you got to love it.
Absolutely.
Flags down on the play. Little late hits by East Clinton might show you some signs of frustration late in the game. I like Cameron McEvoy taking control of the offense the way he is.
Well, he looks like a very good talent out
Yeah,
there.
he does. Tall kid, good-looking body.
Peyton Hibbard and Cameron McEvoy, you generally don't find two quarterbacks
Right.
of that skill level in high school.
And he's a runner. I like the way he's in control. I like the way he's managing this drive. There's a handoff into the line to 24, Thane McCoy, who's had a big night for Wilmington. That clock's running out. 7:10 to go, fourth quarter. Wilmington 21, East Clinton 0. Here from Wilmington Alumni Field, campusnation.com, the YouTube channel. Tony Mancuso, Jeff Merklin, Zach Bayless, Sydney Phillips, her friend, who I'm not sure her name, but she's here. Seems like everybody's laughing and having fun.
Tony, I'm impressed with the facilities.
Yeah, it's
our assistants
beautiful.
here. This is really
Beautiful.
first class. I
It is.
actually had done a few games as color at a Division I school, more towards Columbus, and absolutely this crew has put on a superb job in
they're-
comparison to what I was used
It's
to.
A+ all the way around. It's a class act, and it's run well. And it's a pleasure to be here, and Wilmington's a great host. 21-0 lead over East Clinton.
Well, and the station owner has done a good job in setting everybody up with what they need to have a good evening.
Yeah, not that we want them to click to that game, but they're doing the Clinton Massey Alder game on the other side of our network. But stay with us. Don't leave us.
Hey,
We-
I own half the station too.
We still got 5:40. We still got 5:48 to go. It's 21-0 Wilmington.
But, you know, that's not a vibe.
Here we are at Clock run out time. Clock stops for a flag. They move Wilmington back. 3rd and 11. You're not throwing for the end zone here, are you, Jeff?
You know, up 21-0 with 5 minutes, I'm letting my backup do something.
You are?
Absolutely.
You're not just running it out?
No, I'm letting him get some
Good-looking
minutes.
kid. He's a well-built kid. He's got control of the offense. He's in the shotgun, and you're right. He's throwing left-hander into the corner of the end zone. Little bit overthrown. Intended for 23. Shane Griffith. It's overthrown. What was interesting, that was the first time he threw, and he was a left-hander. We didn't know that.
Had a nice ball.
Nice-looking ball and a left-hander. I wasn't expecting that. He had that number 13, Todd Marinovich, kind of a look to
That's
him,
right.
Right?
Hey, we're going to try
Now,
a
here we go.
46-yard field goal,
We
Tony.
hear that the Wilmington kicker Parker is a strong Division I kicker, and this will be about a 45-yarder. Let's see. Lined up on the right hash, no wind. Snap is perfect, and the kick is going to be wide left.
Plenty of distance, though.
Yeah, he had the leg.
Henry's field goal attempt falls just short.
Parker Henry kicking 46-yard try. You don't see many 46-yard tries in high school, do you, Jeff?
No. Although kickers have improved over time, and there's, as you know, kicker schools.
Right.
And, for instance, in Australia, they have schools to teach how to punt in American football. And
Right.
in fact, Ohio State had an Australian kicker.
Yes, they did.
A couple years ago. It's very different, but if it's done right, it's extremely effective.
Got a timeout for an injury. That's the field goal went wide left by Parker Henry. We're hearing he's a Division I prospect.
I think he's still probably got a little bit of work to do in
Yeah.
terms of leg strength.
Yeah.
But he looks good.
And look who it was that was down on the field for East Clinton. It was 58 Philip Davis, who's been everywhere. Right from the opening kickoff, he's the designated ball kicker, toucher type.
Retriever.
The ball was kicked over to his sidelines, and there he was designated to go get it. He was down for a moment, but he runs off. Looks like he's just fine. I think it's a good time to talk about Sam's Meats, Jeffrey. Let's hear it. Come on, I got the script.
All right. Football fans, stop by Sam's Meats, located here in Wilmington, Ohio, 1209 West Locust Street, to support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, and beef, along with the delicious deli cheese and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy the meat in bulk, hoping to save you both time and money. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar meals, and Sam's Meats made-to-order grill menu. Sam's also offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6:30, and 8 to 6 on Saturdays. Check them out.
Okay, if you're going to go, you got to go now, right? You're at 5:19 to go. You're down 21-0. Let's air it out, Clinton, and let's see if you can get a score. Jared Smith still at the controls at quarterback. We got to be throwing. And, of course, there's a run into the line, even though he does break out to the right. A nice run by Brody Fisher. Crosses the 40-yard line.
Sometimes in situations like this, Tony, having coached a lot of football myself, as a coach, if you're down 21-0, 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game,
You're not trying to win anymore.
you're trying to make sure your kids, number one, you get no injuries. Number two, you try to give them a couple things that have the best chance to have some success before the end of the game.
All right,
Makes sense.
another game. Now 28-26, Massey in the fourth.
Okay, we get the barn burner from the other side of the network. Clinton Massey's lead has been cut to 28-26 over Kettering Alder, the Alder Knights.
That has to be a
What a
fantastic
ball
football
game that is. All the ratings and all the audience probably just tuned into them. But why don't we stay with us because we got 4:45 to go. Wilmington leading East Clinton 21-0 with 4:45 left in the fourth. But we do got to give credit to the other side of the network. The Clinton Massey Alder game sounds like it's a barn burner going to the end. Two powerhouse programs. What an opening broadcast that must be. There's a long bomb and a good-looking throw by Jared Smith down the right sideline. Incomplete, but a well-thrown ball. Kid had a good arm. Let him go. Let him go.
I guess after seeing that ball,
Yes,
which was beautifully
beautifully
thrown about
thrown.
50 yards downfield, I'm a little surprised we didn't see that earlier.
Yes, and the receiver had his man beat. It was just overthrown.
Yeah, my guess is that early on the coach, Coach Olds Coach Olds was probably a little hesitant because of the pressure that he was getting on his young quarterback.
Well, like you said, sometimes strategies vary at this time in mop-up time. Are you playing to win or are you playing for next week's practice? There's a handoff again to, looks like Fisher. Not much there. So now it's proverbial fourth down, and this could be the last time we see East Clinton's offense on the field if they don't convert. 4:18 to go. Got to have it. If you're going to have any chance, which doesn't look good, but you got to do it now. But, of course, they're lining up for a punt. Not going. What do you think, Jeff?
Again, I think Coach Olds is doing a good job here tonight. Again, it's a wacky season to begin with. Get out of here, go home, and learn from this week and get ready for next.
Well, he did punt on fourth down, 4th and 8. There's flags down, but I hear you, Jeff, as a former quarterback and a former coach. But 21-0. What's the difference between losing 28-0 or 21-0? Let's throw the ball and try to convert it.
Well, as you said a minute or two ago, there's different strategies
Different
involved
philosophy.
in how you handle your kids. Maybe his team, he wants them to mature a little bit. Their running game has not been good.
Nope.
Gives him about 4 or 5 minutes to work on the running game some more. A lot of argument there that Coach Olds is doing the right thing.
Well, 3:53 to go. It's 21-0. Now it's run out the clock time for Wilmington. We don't even need Dandy Don to sing Turn Out the Lights, even though there's no way that Zach or Sydney know what we're talking about. What years were they born? Yeah, an interesting point that our guy Zach, our cameraman, has pointed out. How about that? It's hard to see from my angle, but Zach's camera angle has picked it up. There are fans lined up behind the fence on trucks and in lawn chairs watching through the fence. How about that? Not let in, but still watching football. You know, the human spirit, you cannot knock it down, can you? You cannot knock down the human spirit.
And I guarantee you one thing, in this state, people are going to do everything they can to watch high school football.
There they are. There's probably 30 people congregated at least outside the fences watching their beloved Wilmington High School football team. And I think that's really cool.
I can't tell if they have masks on.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can get some binoculars. Let me see if I can catch them. Brand new binoculars. For years I had ones that didn't work. And I'll tell you. No, I'm going to tell you. I've got these super high-powered binoculars that somebody special bought for me last Christmas, so now I can see. And the report from the press box is no masks. They're not wearing masks. They're not wearing masks.
Rebels.
I like it. And they are young kids. They're young high school kids, mostly female, it looks like. watching their boyfriends play, and why not? If you're a kid, you want your girlfriend at the game. You don't want her sitting at home when you got you're out there playing as a high school football athlete, and they're there and they're watching, and they're not wearing masks. How about that?
To catch you up, Tony, on the play, the first play from scrimmage this time for Wilmington was a run, but there was a holding call. Second play was a 5-yard advance on the ground, and I believe the runner on that was, I believe it was Thad Stuckey.
So 2:50 to go, the clock winding out here at Wilmington Alumni Field. 21-0 Wilmington leading. McAvoy leading the Wilmington offense. There's a breakaway run. There he is again. That kid has been all over the place. Thad Stuckey.
Number 26, Thad Stuckey, the ball carrier.
Nice looking run. That running combo of Thane McCoy and Thad Stuckey, I like those two.
Sophomores as well.
Yep. Good future for both of them in this program.
Coach Killen, he's got some special kids coming up.
Yeah, for them running the ball like that as sophomores, got to give them credit. As we hit the 2-minute mark here in quarter number 4. CampusNation.com, 106.9 WZAA in Jeffersonville. The YouTube channel for Campus Nation. All this available for you to watch. If you're not a rebel sitting outside the fence, you better be watching this game on the stream on your computer or device, because that's what you're supposed to do on Friday night in Ohio.
That's correct.
At least between 7 o'clock and around 9. Now, after 9, you can eat and drink, but between 7 and 9, you got to be watching high school football, whether it be on our show, on our station, live, in person, outside the fence. That's what we do here in this state.
Well, Tony, you know me from a long time back, and you know that high school football is really probably my greatest passion.
Right, of course.
Outside of the Bengals and the Buckeyes, I suppose. But
Which
I love it.
You don't get half that. Would you have believed? I'll tell you something I was looking for. Oh, there's a ball on the ground. There's a pile up. It does look from up here that East Clinton has recovered with 45 seconds to go. Probably too little, too late, though.
Well, Tony, I need to tell you that Chase Pickard, number 52 for East Clinton, absolutely blew through the line of scrimmage and caused that fumble between the quarterback and the running back. That was a great play.
But how about this? As diehard Bengal fans, I'm wearing the jersey number 9. Since before April, when was it? Probably December of this year, when it looked like we were getting the number 1 pick, and it looked like it was going to be Joe Burrow, the Heisman winner, the national champion quarterback, record setter. What a year he had. The one thing that we were looking forward to was walking into Paul Brown Stadium on September 13th and watching him run out to the fireworks and the roar of the crowd, which would have been a moment frozen in time. Put that on the top 50 bucket list of our sports watching life. We don't get it.
Absolutely. I still think that's a one-in-a-lifetime
Right, we
quarterback.
don't get it. We don't get to see it live. Now, my TV will be on, and you, of course, you're welcome to be right next to me, but it's not going to quite be the same. I wanted it live. I wanted to be there standing up, watching that kid run out, and
Absolutely.
announced as the starting quarterback, but we don't get to see it.
Well, the whole package came together for the Bengals this summer. I mean, you signed free agents. You drafted some very good players after Joe, and I think the fan base would have been very pumped for that first game as the clock runs out here.
Well, here we go. We're down to the 4-3-2-1 sign off. Final score here from Wilmington Alumni Field. The Wilmington Hurricane 21, the East Clinton Astros 0. Pretty much a dominating win for Wilmington from start to finish. Controlled every aspect of the game. Felt like watching it that it was going to be that way. It seemed like the stronger team won.
Absolutely. East Clinton, again, a much smaller school, a little less to choose from amongst the student body, but they were scrappy tonight. You've got to hand it to them. They didn't give up. They had a couple breaks that, frankly, I think they made themselves, and kept in there until the fourth quarter. If they could have got a score there at 14-0 and down about the 15, 20-yard line, it'd been a different story.
Now, here's a couple interesting things. Those fans that were outside the fence are scurrying out. I wonder if they've been moved out or they just skedaddled out of here before anybody kind of told them to leave. The post-game huddles of both teams look sort of traditional to me. They're bunched up. You got the coach in the middle lecturing them. And
well, Wilmington's very socially distanced.
Yeah,
down
Wilmington's
there.
socially distanced, but East Clinton certainly is not.
And, of course, the traditional lineup at the 50-yard line. And
did not happen.
Have a handshake. So it's a new world.
We did not get a handshake.
I hope this doesn't last much
No,
longer.
I don't want that. I don't want a world where we don't have kids embracing. I mean, you think about when you played and you knew players on the other team, and it was the greatest thing in the world playing. I didn't play football. I played thousands of baseball games. To have my friends on the opposite team and we're running through the post-game huddle, hugging and high-fiving and talking about what we're doing in our neighborhood or after the game. And it was all friendly competition growing up with those kids. And you miss that. That's a big thing. It sounds silly, but it's not silly when you're a player.
It's part of growing up.
Right.
Learning to socialize.
Yeah, some of my best friends I played against and competed against, and I would talk junk to them all week and hug them at the end of the game and ask them, when are we getting together? We got to hear from Tin Cap one last time, though. You want to do the honors, Jeff?
Let's, one more time. Tin Cap is more than just your locally owned hard cider company. Tin Cap offers handcrafted hard ciders along with local craft beers, cocktails, and pizza. Tin Cap leads the area in entertainment, offering large TVs for big games like the one Tony and I just witnessed, the largest outdoor patio with covered area, and a large stage for live music. Join your friends at Tin Cap, where they always serve up smiles by the glassful.
Well, it's 21-0 win for the Wilmington Hurricane over the East Clinton Astros in Week 1 of the 2020 high school football season here on CampusNation.com. Available on the YouTube channel of Campus Nation. 106.9 WZAA, the sister station out of Jeffersonville. It's been a pleasure being here. We're going to be here next week too, Jeff, for another Wilmington game on September 4th. So in the meantime, get those COVID rules figured out so we can figure out why players are kicking balls and why there's a designated retriever.
And the little orange thing where the ball goes.
Yeah, and the refs are not allowed to touch the ball.
El Bizarro.
Yeah, El Bizarro, but we made it through. I'm Tony Mancuso. You are Jeff Merklin. Thanks to Zach Bayless on the camera. Of course, Sydney Phillips, who's running the show up here, and her friend, who we don't have her name, but she's Sydney's friend, and she's been smiling and laughing the whole time. We'll sign off here from Alumni Field. Final score, Wilmington Hurricane 21, East Clinton Astros 0, and we'll see you next Friday night.